Hey, Peeps Galucia here, and I'm picking up just a few turns later from the last episode in my Brave New World playthrough, the new Civilization V expansion. So, right off the bat, there's a few things I can talk about. Nothing really new has happened as far as the playthrough goes. I've just been progressing through a few turns. No, I'm not just going to give you ivory for no reason. If you had something to give me, perhaps. But I did want to point out, as I continue to do, the differences between this and previous version. And that is, right now I'm researching guilds, which gives me some access to a few different things. So, first of all, the East India Company, and this is going to basically make your trade routes better. That if someone makes a trade route to you, you get more gold from it, and if you make a trade route to them, you get more gold for that as well. So obviously that has a lot of uses, and that can be really good to build. But there's also this, the Artist Guild. This provides 2 Great Person Points, or GPP, towards a great artist. Add up to 2 specialists to this building to gain culture and increase the rate of great artist acquisition. So this is a great way, again, to work towards that cultural victory. So we are definitely going to need to build this, and I will definitely be working on that as soon as possible. So some of the differences with the tech guilds that I wanted to point out to you. I suppose it's also worth noting that Melbourne did adopt my faith without me having to do jack diddly anything about it. And Ragusa doesn't seem to have any pressure yet. But that trade route was supposed to be adding pressure to them, so I'm going to keep an eye on them. Also, you can see that I did send my guy over here, and that we did end up being the prevailing faith here. Stockholm is still not so much. They have a higher pressure there, so on and so forth. But we have a foothold with Helsinki for the time being, and the next missionary will definitely be going straight over here to farther solidify my hold on that area. So, for those of you that are actually following along in the playthrough and that aren't just watching purely to see what the new stuff is, but you're also interested in the actual playthrough and how I end up doing it, there's some updates for you. Okay, so I wanted to take a moment to look at tourism and give you an idea of exactly what's going on excuse me, with tourism. You can see that Brazil is much fuller now, 33.8% influential over Brazil. And instead of just saying rising slowly, the trend says now that it's rising. And that I will be influential in 507 turns, assuming tourism output remains unchanged. And I like that. I like that it tells me what that is. Obviously, that's a really long time as far as how many turns it's going to take goes. But, of course, tourism is going to continue to go up. So, and we look at the cultural victory, and China's gone up from 2 to 4. The Mayans have stayed at 4, and still nobody else is doing jack diddly crap with tourism. So we remain to be pretty good to go on that, but I would really feel more comfortable if we can get a little bit more going. Doing everything I can. I think that guild thing is going to really help out with that. Alright, so we finished that, and the little advisor comes up to talk about the Artist Guild. The Artist Guild allows you to generate great artists by assigning specialists to it. A great artist is a new type of great person that allows you to create great works of art, essential for generating tourism and winning a cultural victory. Speaking of great people, how about that? A great whiter has showed up. That's absolutely excellent. So we can get him to do a great work, which is going to be placed in the amphitheater.
The moon
outstanding.
blows on the river. Wind rustles the pine. Long night, clear evening. What are they for?
How about that? Intense, people. I love these great works. I really do. I'm legit super thrilled about all the great works that keep getting drummed out. So there you go. So now we have 6 tourism. Nobody else has 6. So we're on top of the game there. And we're going to keep drumming that stuff out. Very cool, though, that I got a great writer. That makes me very excited. I was just thinking to myself, I really hope that sometime in the near future we get that worked out, and we did. All right, about the finished aesthetics. That makes me very excited that I get to finish that up. That doubles the Theming bonus that we receive from the museums and wonders, and it also allows the purchase of great writers, artists, and musicians with faith as soon as we get into the industrial era. So later on in the industrial era, that is going to become very strong. Plus, the last thing that we get is also just really good in general because it reduces the culture cost of all future policies by 10%. So it makes that a lot easier. Hey! And I got an achievement. Artistic license. How about those bananas? Outstanding. Okay, so I unlocked a lot of new places for my sea trade route because I was doing a lot of exploration. Interestingly enough, besides Helsinki, which is right across the water here, I could set something up with them, and I'm tempted to do it only because of the fact that I do get the science from it, although they get more science, but the 7 gold is nice, so I'm tempted to do that. Plus, it's a short trade route, so if someone starts hating on me for some reason, it won't be hard to protect it. But the interesting thing is, with the 2 city-states that I discovered, both of them being very far away, I get a influence with them for faith, for Judaism, but they also get it. But then I get influence, I get pressure from their faith. And that's really interesting. If we take a moment to come over here, you can see that they already have a faith. They got 24 pressure coming from there, 18 pressure coming from there. So I would actually get religious pressures from somebody by establishing that trade route. And in a place where there's no pressure other than Judaism at all. There's just no other faith down here that has any real presence at all. Even if you come up here, you can see how little the, they took that place over. But besides that, you can see that the Christian pressure isn't nearly what the Judaism pressure is. And that's really interesting. So the trade route can really bite you in the butt. I mean, it'd be nice to send some pressure their way as well. But I don't want to give them an in, because right now they don't have a single ounce of pressure over here, and I'd basically be giving it to them. Because of that fact, I'm probably going to have to go with these guys, even though I can get the same amount of gold from here, and even though they're going to get 1 more science out of the deal than I am, I really do need the science right now. So at least this time around, I'm going to establish it with these dudes. Next time, maybe I'll switch that up. But one thing I could do to help fix that situation as well, since I do have a great prophet over here, is to try to eliminate that faith. He has enough, charges left, or whatever, uses, I guess is what they're referring to it as, that I could hit both of these places no problem. I could work on eliminating the Buddhism from their capital. I mean, not from the capital itself, but from the surrounding areas, and make their influence a lot less strong. I mean, you can see I've been doing it here on this part of it, so I just need to continue to spread that. And the next time around, maybe I'll be able to actually establish those trade routes. But that's interesting that it can come back to bite you in the butt like that. Okay, so we have a few things that we can talk about with some of the new things going on. I just started researching horseback riding. And besides the first 2 things, which nothing abnormal there, Horseman and the Circus Maximus, the unique building for the Polish Empire is the Ducal Stable, or Ducal Stable. I don't know. I guess that's how you would say that. So that's their unique building. And then there's also the Caravansary, which basically makes it so that the range of your land units emanating from any city that has this is 50% farther, and any that are connected to another civ will get an additional 2 gold. So obviously that's a good thing to build, especially if you have a lot of deals going out of there. So that is exactly what I will be working on as soon as I'm done building the National Epic. Okay, so we can go ahead and make that Caravansary, or however you say it, which is exciting. That, like I said, that's going to make our land caravans a lot better. So that's a really good thing. And we got our first spy. And as we have already established, if we put a spy in a city, it's going to increase the influence with our faith as well as everything else. So, having said that, the first dude I want to spy on is Brazil, because he's right next to the guy that's generating all that Christianity, so it'll put Judaism in the area. So that's exactly what I'm going to start with. especially since this place now has... Oh, here we go. Okay, so whole new option with a spy. Once again, not aware of it at all. Okay, do you want this spy to be a diplomat? A spy can be a diplomat if they are placed in the capital of another civilization that you are not at war with. If war is declared, your spy will escape the city. A diplomat will not attempt to steal technology from the other player, but will still provide intrigue, which is when they say stuff to you like, oh, we found out that so-and-so is planning on doing so-and-so. Once the World Congress convenes, you will be able to determine their opinion on proposals and trade for their support if needed. If you have differing ideologies, diplomats will automatically conduct propaganda that provides a boost to your tourism output to the target civilization. So that's pretty cool that they changed it now so that they don't have to be spies. They can also be diplomats. I think for now, though, I do want him to be a spy. But later on, once ideologies become a thing and whatnot, diplomat might be the better choice of action. For now, he's going to go be a spy. Because he's a spy. But that's interesting. So they added a whole thing to the whole spy nonsense that I didn't even know about. Once again, surprised me with that. So I need to decide what it is that I'm going to do from here, because the rest of them don't necessarily have anything to do with culture, at least not that much. Probably going to go with commerce, though. Exploration is all about spreading your empire over the seas, as is the general description of it, which I don't plan on doing. Whereas commerce provides bonus to empires focused on gold. Now, I'm not focused on gold necessarily, but gold is always important to me and a big deal. The only other thing I could think of that might be beneficial would be patronage, only because, as it describes, it enhances your benefits to the city-state friendships, and that way you can work with city-states to help generate more culture. As they point out in patronage, once you complete patronage, as was before, there is a chance that a city-state will gift you a great person. And since great people have so much more meaning now towards a cultural victory, I think that that is probably a good idea, at least for now, until, a better option arises. So I'm going to go with patronage for now. Okay, so great. So we finished the Artists Guild here. That was really important. That was very crucial. That was a key thing. So we got that done and over with. I have to switch focus with the city just for a little while because my science is really bad. So a library is necessary. But, like I said, we got that now. So now they're working towards great artists, and the other place is working towards great writers. So that's pretty sweet. For now, just the one specialist, and as the city grows and so on and so forth, then we can readdress that. But yeah, tourism. Since I'm new to it, I'm doing everything I know how to do to focus on tourism, but obviously it's still new to me, so I'm just doing what I know to do.
I fall back
Can't
on
wait to see what we got.
but falsehood of a most consistent variety. For I now make the only true statement you are to expect, that I am a liar. This defense is, I consider, a full defense against all imputations.
Very interesting. All right, so that puts our tourism up to 8. Outstanding. And we're about to finish a caravan since I got that special building that facilitates the caravans. I wanted to go ahead and make another one, see how far it can go and whatnot. The other caravan's trade route was done when it had 3 turns left, so I just put it back on the same trade route that it was on before. So now I get to see what else that gives us. A lot. Wow. Okay. So besides this jerk, who we've been trading with for a while now and has not really been putting a whole lot to us, we can go to Rio de Janeiro, which is their capital, which is really nice because not only do we get for this one, we get the 10 gold and the 2 science, and they only get 4 gold and 1 science. So we definitely get the better deal out of that. Now, obviously, the bad side to that is that we're going to get that pressure, because they have Catholicism in that city. They don't, however, have Catholicism here. Now, the benefits aren't as good 6-2 as opposed to 10-2, but it's also not as good for them. They're only going to get 1-1. And now we can put that pressure in a city that doesn't have Catholicism at all, which is, in fact, right in the middle of their territory. And I just sent a missionary here to Ragusa to try to help the pressure there, and it really didn't. And here, which all it did was give us 1 follower and didn't give us any pressures at all. So sending pressure here in the middle, which already, as you can see, has 7 pressure, if we add this to it, the pressure should be higher than Catholicism. So that is pretty awesome. So that is going to be a very powerful tool. And again, it's interesting how they balance this game where things that you wouldn't think could be used as tools in certain ways end up that they do. Like the trade routes are becoming tools. They're becoming tools to not only get you money, which is what you would expect it to do, but they're becoming tools for faith, to facilitate faith and things of that nature. And because of that, it's facilitating my cultural victory. So it's facilitating my victory. Money is very important for most, if not all, the types of victories, because money is involved in everything. So the trade routes would be important for a lot of different types of victories. But for the obvious reasons, for the money reasons, not for the reasons that we're actually facilitating it for. Just like the faith, when it was first introduced in the last expansion, I didn't expect to see how much it facilitated every possible victory, that every type of victory you can have is facilitated by your faith. And faith is important no matter what kind of victory you're going for. It doesn't have to just be important for a cultural victory, which it is even more so now than ever. So it's very interesting how the trade routes are becoming weapons against civs, that I am now, with my trade route to that civ, I am influencing their faith, which is in turn going to weaken their stance in the area. I came over here just to double check, and it looks like we still are the predominant faith here. And the fact that we got all 3 of these locked down with Judaism, I think really helped to influence that. So now I can safely set up a trade route out here and not worry about getting pressure back from them for Judaism. Matter of fact, I actually gained Jewish pressure from them. They're Jewish, so now which is my holy city, so that's silly. It doesn't need it, but I'm getting it. So that's outstanding. And I was hoping that this would be the better civ to go to, and it is. So this is important. So I'm going to be sending 7 pressure here now, as well as obtaining the 7 gold. Now, I had 7 gold before, so the gold will stay the same, but what I lose is the 2 science. But now the Swedes don't get the 3 science from me. So once again, I'm not helping that civ anymore by giving them extra gold and science. It's like 2 gold and 3 science. And I'm putting extra pressure over here now with the trade route, which is going to continue to help with my foothold on these 2. And look, they just built this city, and I'm already there. 30 pressure, done. So the only place that Buddhism is located is in their actually holy city. That I can see, of course. That's not shrouded by the fog of war. So once again, trade routes becoming a weapon for what I'm trying to facilitate here. Very, very interesting. And I can't stress that enough about how much the trade routes are helping and how important they are for the victory. It's these little things. They add trade routes in, but they make it work for everything. And that's why Civilization 5 is such a good game and why the people behind it are so good at what they do. This game is so perfectly balanced that, and every time they add something, it doesn't make one thing OP or change the mechanics in such a way that it upsets or bothers the people that are, the true fans of the game that have been playing it forever. It just farther adds to the strategy. It's just one more thing you can do. Something as harmless as a trade route is becoming this fantastical advantage. So now we have to end today's video. I wanted to get back into here. So we have our 8 tourism rating now, so everyone's rising slowly again. Brazil is no longer falling. Now, at first, our level with everybody was unknown. Now, with these three guys, it's exotic. And we reached familiar with these guys because we hit 30% a while ago. Now, we were higher. We were up to like 36 point something, and now it's down to 34.6 because that they started getting some tourism going and stuff like that. But we are still getting it to them, but it's not enough. We need more tourism output if we're really going to take it to them and get a cultural victory. I've done it every way that I know how to do it, basically. I've achieved tourism in every way that I know how to do it. So pretty soon, I think the only thing that's going to be left for me to do is just to really, really focus on any of the buildings that I need that have the slots for great works and focus on great person production. That I'm really going to have to switch that focus and really spend some time to think about it and think what I can do to make that work. So I think I'm going to save that for the next episode. I think I'm going to wrap things here. And then next episode, we're really going to start to delve deep into the city management to really figure out what we can do there. And then as well as looking into the future of the tech tree to see, okay, which of these buildings is going to facilitate what I was just talking about. Not to mention that it's really important now to get to the industrial era. They've really... From the industrial era on, I know a lot of changes have been made. There's a lot of complaints in the past that not enough is going on in the industrial era and beyond. And, I mean, already, geez, I shouldn't have gone this far. But already, I mean, it didn't used to be this big. Let me just say that. That didn't used to have all this stuff. So, we're going to start looking into that a lot deeper. And over time, we'll figure out exactly what it is that we need to do to succeed in building up our tourism and properly becoming the cultural victor. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time. Laters!